Work is an important part of our lives, and the ability to work efficiently is a crucial factor in both employee well-being and organizational success. When there are insufficient or inadequate measures to support mental health in the workplace, loss of productivity, decreased motivation and morale, and increased conflict and absenteeism are just some of the outcomes. An organization's most valuable resource is their people. So whether those people feel safe, are healthy, feel supported, and are efficient and committed really matters.
The workplace is where most adults spend the greatest proportion of their lives. Therefore, it has a significant impact on their health and mental health. That can be positive, it can be negative. There's a variation that is possible. The nature of the jobs that we do, the physical environments in which we do them, and the conditions we face, even simply getting to and from our workplaces can affect us. You can imagine having a job that you really enjoy, or a workplace that you really enjoy, but having a really long commute with lots of traffic both ways every day, and it becomes challenging.
Work can be stressful and affect your entire well-being. That's why it's important to take care of yourself, and I would like to give you some recommendations that you can apply. My first recommendation is try to get enough sleep. You can sleep at least 8 hours per day. Try to sleep in the night if you work daylight. Also try to be hydrated. At least 2 liters of water per day is good for you. And also practice some physical activity. You can go to take a walk of 30 minutes per day, or you can do some activities like yoga, or just stretching your muscles if your work is all the time at the desk, on the office, and if you don't move a lot. Also, something that makes you feel better if you have a good work environment. So you can try to be as kind as possible with your colleagues, and also being able to express your feelings with someone that you trust can help you to release stress. Make some time to spend with family and friends, and do things that you enjoy with them.
Almost 50% of employee long-term absence is due to ill health or work-related stress. So the foundation of an effective, engaged, and productive team is a healthy workplace. When mental health is prioritized, employees are able to be creative, they are innovative, and you'd find that you have a staff that has healthier, more collaborative relationships.
Many companies understand the importance and are willing to implement psychological health and safety at work. The question becomes, where do you start? My recommendation would be to align your efforts with the ISO 45003 guideline. The ISO 45003 guideline was introduced by the International Organization for Standardization in 2021. It provides you with a blueprint on how to effectively implement, measure, and continuously improve psychological health and safety efforts within the workplace. While not an exhaustive list, some of the things that the ISO 45003 guideline seeks to address are issues such as workplace harassment and bullying, burnout, changes to the work environment, persons dealing with neurodiversity concerns and considerations, and other issues that could fundamentally impact your mental wellness at your jobs. One of the questions that leadership tends to ask is, what is the return on investment for focusing on psychological health and safety at work? Well, the World Health Organization shares with us that $1 trillion is lost by the global economy each year due to depression and anxiety issues that impact the workforce. For every dollar invested, employers can expect to see a $4 return on profitability, productivity, and a reduction in mental health-related losses. A summary of the steps that one can take to implement ISO 45003 in your organization are as follows. First, it is recommended that you secure the advice of a subject matter expert in implementing management systems. Secondly, familiarize yourself with the guideline. Understand how it complements the ISO 45001 Occupational Health and Safety Standard, and how you can use that linkage to implement the 45003 guideline. Do a risk analysis against the criteria outlined in the standard, and then seek to develop the policies, protocols, and procedures that would create the framework upon which you build a successful ISO 45003 implementation. Follow that up with the commitment from leadership to continuously improve the efforts to enhance psychological health and safety at work.
If you want to do more to prioritize mental health at your organization, a good place to start is with prevention efforts. So that means developing clear mental health policies, setting the tone for a culture that is supportive and allows employees to feel safe to express their needs.
Trinidad and Tobago culture is diverse and dynamic. One of the things we do very well is mimic the culture of a village. Everyone knows everyone else, and we speak freely to one another in most spaces. We can talk about almost anything. However, there are some things that are meant to be kept private. People have a right for their medical and psychological information to be kept confidential. One of the most frequent things employees say about HR in their workplaces is that they cannot trust them. Confidentiality is breached more times than not. Maintaining confidentiality can significantly help an employee in distress, as this gives them the feeling of safety to access help via the EAP services provided to them by their organizations. This benefit is superiorly underutilized for the singular purpose that confidentiality is not kept. We ought not to have a chat about a co-worker's anxiety or familial challenges or even their feelings of low self-worth. Human compassion, mutual respect, and personal ethics should be the motivating factors driving HR personnel to create a safe space that allows employees to access the professional help they deserve. It's a wonderful thing to think that you can have such a positive impact on someone else's life just by doing one small thing: maintaining confidentiality. Having an employee who is mentally well can only benefit workplace productivity. To this end, and more importantly, to the end of general human kindness and courtesy, let us as business owners, managers, directors, supervisors, and leaders put our best foot forward in ensuring that the HR department stands on a solid foundation of confidentiality, compassion, and courtesy. We can all do our part to build the person next to us. Let us work together in our respective roles to boost workplace mental health and wellness. In all things, be kind.
The right to conditions that promote mental health is a fundamental human right. But prioritizing mental health isn't just the right thing to do, it's also the smart thing to do. We all benefit from workplaces that support good mental health.
The culture of a workplace can have a profound effect on the emotional well-being of workers. A workplace culture can include the support and encouragement of a good work-life balance. It can include a pattern of helpfulness, of teamwork, of kindness, but that doesn't always happen. And for us in Trinidad and Tobago, one of our big challenges is that we have cultural reverberations of our colonial history. Slavery, indentureship, and colonialism often show up in our workplaces and in the ways in which we interact. And so among the things that we have to contend with is the way that power is used in our workplaces. There's always a differential in power within the workplace, and the way that is exercised shapes the culture of the workplace. Whether people feel safe, whether they feel able to address grievances and challenges, whether they feel supported, whether they feel appropriately compensated. All of these things are affected by the use of power within the workplace. There is a need to directly and deliberately address how power is used, especially by those who hold a significant amount of it.
So let us prioritize creating workplaces where everyone can flourish both mentally and professionally. On behalf of the committees and membership of the Trinidad and Tobago Association of Psychologists, we wish you all a
Happy
World Mental Health Day.